how they can get in contact with Lavish Waist and Wellness Spa.
I'm on all social media platforms by just searching Lavish Waist and Wellness. My business phone number is 414-242-7146, and you can also book an appointment on my website at lavishwaistandwellnessspa.com.
This has been your Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Lavish Waist and Wellness Spa right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Wisconsin Department of Health reports that the passing of the upcoming federal budget will bring funding cuts to SNAP recipients and cost Wisconsin food share users upwards of $300 million. CEO for the Hunger Task Force, Matt King, explains how more food pantries could suffer if the bill gets passed and signed by the president.
What's going to happen with these cuts is that a lot more people are going to fall off of the program, and as a result, there's going to be an increased pressure put on local food pantries.
King says the Hunger Task Force has reached out to both Wisconsin's U.S. senators to ask for adjustments to the bill. More than 700,000 Wisconsinites participate in the food share program a year. Milwaukee City Common Council approves the next public plaza near the Deer District. On Tuesday, the Common Council approved the $5 million proposed riverfront public plaza on a half block of West Highland Avenue between North King Drive and the Milwaukee River. The Journal Sentinel reports that the street would be transformed into a pedestrian space and the city would pay for 78% of the project's cost. Work on the new plaza will begin in October. Charged with abusing a child reported missing, 58-year-old Daniel Hawkins faces 2 felonies for second-degree sexual assault of a child and giving drugs to a child. Authorities say Hawkins found a 14-year-old girl who had been reported missing in April and then supplied her with meth before he sexually assaulted her. The child stayed with Hawkins for 4 days before ending up at various, quote, trap houses before being located. Hawkins faces up to 65 years in prison if convicted. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. It's Friday, and it's Pop-Off Friday. And you know what Pop-Off Friday brings? If you have anything that you want to complain about, anything that you want to talk about, anything that you want to say. 833-212-1017 is the number. But always remember, you can go to 1017thetruth.com and click listen live, watch live. We're right here. Of course, you can stream and watch us live on YouTube and at 1017thetruth.com. I would say just go to 1017thetruth.com, click it, and forget it. Make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. You will never, ever, 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 ever miss a show. So, here's the deal. Pop-Off Friday, I leave to those things that disturb me. And what I'm going to talk about today disturbs me. Dear MATC, and later I conclude the Wisconsin Technical College system. Now, usually when we go pop off, it's usually you're complaining about something. But I think the complaint I have today is something that should please most people. Here's my complaint about MATC. Why isn't everybody utilizing MATC? Why aren't we going to school and getting a 2-year degree at MATC in whatever area you want to go into and then go get a bachelor's degree? People keep saying, you don't need a bachelor's degree, you don't need it. Well, that's a lie. Because what's going to happen is over time, the people that run everything are still going to have bachelor's or master's degrees, and you're not. Let's pick nursing, for instance. The average salary for a nurse, I heard, after graduation, as an RN, and I don't know if it's with a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree, but it's around $73,000 a year. Now, if you graduated with a degree, would you go to get a job making $73,000 a year? I don't know many people that, that's okay, that's not enough, fresh out of college. But if you got a 2-year degree, number one, there's some nuances in that you may not necessarily be able to get the job you want in healthcare. You may get it at a nursing home, you may get it at a hospital, but you are destined on that track to not become a nursing supervisor or a director of nursing without credentials. And I don't mean RN credentials. I mean bachelor's degree, master's degree, nurse practitioner, PhD. Okay? But that being said, $73,000 is a good salary for a registered nurse who went through all that trouble. And if you're talking about having 4 years to go through nursing, try doing it in 2. That's a crunch. That's tough. Clinicals, all those things. And I'm only saying that because my wife is a nurse, so I'm more familiar with that. But if I can go to MATC and pay $150 a credit and over 2 years, 60 credits, it might be more, it might be less, but on average, 60 credits, and pay $9,000 for a degree where I can go make $73,000, why aren't you at MATC first? Then if you want to transfer and go to Concordia University, Wisconsin, knock yourself out. Yes, shameless plug. I admit it. I'm a professor there. If you're going to pay money, go get a loan, do whatever you need to do in order to go to school, go get your associate's degree first. $9,000 and the best, most economical education, short of being free, is a $9,000 Milwaukee Area Technical College. So I want to say thank you to Milwaukee Area Technical College, but more importantly, I want to say thank you to the Wisconsin Technical College system for keeping the price low. I remember when I moved here way back in 1993, and I moved here in May of 1993. And I took a couple classes at MATC way back in the day. And it was $75 per credit hour. And I went, Huh? Yeah. The 15-week class and finals week, you buy your books, and it's $150 plus your or books or fees. And I'm like, wait, what? Are you serious? Yep. And so what I don't understand is, why isn't everybody at MATC? We complain about this, we complain about that, we'll go make it better. But you've got a system in place in Wisconsin where you can transfer to any four-year school you want to go to. Superior, Stout, Madison, Whitewater, you name it, you can go. Parkside, why not? They've got articulation agreements with pretty much, going out on a limb, pretty much every college in the Milwaukee area, and definitely in Wisconsin. And most of the curriculum is standard, especially if you go into things like police science, fire science, stuff like that. Nursing, pretty much all the same. Start at one school, finish at another school. $9,000 for a degree, where in some cases, and depending on where you work, you never have to go back to school, and you can make upwards of $100,000 to $150,000 a year if you really work hard. Why aren't we at MATC? Why aren't our schools sending kids to MATC? Because we have it stuck in our brain, and I had a conversation with somebody a few minutes ago. We have it stuck in our brain. I got a four-year degree. Yeah, you do. I still think you need a four-year degree. The four-year degree gives you a liberal education, and I don't mean liberal versus conservative, but a liberal education where it's broad enough so that later you can use and draw on different disciplines to apply to your job. We've got to get back to that. We have to get back to people having a base of knowledge in America that everybody has. And we used to have that. I think that's what the Trump administration is trying to get back to. They're just doing it in the wrong way. They're doing it in an idiotic, stupid way. Yes, it's important to be pro-American, but you can't be pro-American to the point where you discard something that you created, like race, like gender, like ethnicity. And while I agree with some of the things, most of it I don't, by virtue of the fact of the way that you're going about doing it makes no sense. And so we've got these gems that are sitting here in the Wisconsin Technical College system where you could literally, if you have a bachelor's degree and you want to go back and pad your degree with some training that's going to get you paid even more money, or you decide, I just want to be a welder, I just want to go into computer science, it's right there. A bachelor's degree will broaden and round out that education, will give you many more disciplines to pull from when you do your job every day, when you have conversations every day, when you read, when you write, your critical thinking. That is what your bachelor's degree will do for you. It will set you on a more level playing field. But if you want to get a job, MATC is right there. Limited number of classes in Mequon. Classes in Oak Creek. And right there at 700 West State Street. But we'd rather have our children complain that they can't get into the schools they want to get. Why are you trying to go to Harvard or Yale anyway? Why are you trying to go to Rutgers? Why are you trying to go to UW-Madison when MATC is right there? Makes absolutely no sense. You can go get your associate's degree and transfer to those schools. Dynamite grade point average, learn work ethic, go home, go to work, go to school. I mean, think about that. You can go to school part-time and in 3 years or 2.5 years have a degree. It's all what you put into it. Notice the operative word is you. That means you have to be responsible. You have to be accountable to yourself, not anybody else. Don't go to school because your mama wanted you to go to school or your daddy wanted you to go to school. There's some instances and some organizations and things of that nature that you should probably do because your parents did it. But when it comes to education, that's for you. So the people I'm popping off to are the ones that decided they wanted to go to a 4-year school only, because that's the only school they want to go to. They want the prestige to live that dies 1 second after you graduate. Think about this. You graduate with a 4-year, or even in my case, you graduate with a PhD. How long did that euphoria last? Honestly. You walked across, you handed them the card, they read your name, they took your picture. They said, congratulations. You sat back down. When it was over, somebody probably said a prayer. Somebody probably said congratulations. You listened to a speaker that you still don't remember. And then everybody screamed and hollered for about 15 seconds. Life starts at second 16. When the 15 seconds are over, what are you doing at second 16? So if you're looking for that euphoria at Columbia University for $200,000-$400,000 over 2 years, UW-Madison for about $100 over 4 years, or you can go to MATC for $9,000, have the same euphoria, get a job, pay for your own degree, and go from there. And so when I hear students in high school talk about, I'm going to go be a neuroscientist, I want to go be a bioengineer and all this stuff. You know the place where you can start to get that base? Right there at MATC. And while you work and pay off your own schooling, you can graduate with zero debt and a job. I mean, it's the difference between $34,000, $36,000, and some books, or $360,000 as a medical doctor. You choose. But I want to say thank you to MATC. Thank you to the Wisconsin Technical College system. What I do need to pop off about is you need to do a better job of pushing yourself and getting these kids and explaining to them that the only way they're going to make it today, I think, is to go to MATC and Concordia. Yes, I threw it in there. I had to. Come on. I'm just saying. But MATC, phenomenal work, phenomenal job. Keep it up.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 101.7 The Truth.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Pop Up Friday, 833-212-1017 is the number. Guess what I'm popping off about today, y'all? One big, beautiful bill. So we're gonna be chopping that one big, beautiful bill up. We're going to be looking at it today. So if you got any questions about it, pros and cons and good and bad and all that, hit me up. 833-212-1017 is the number. Not really a girl on the YouTube chat. Good afternoon, Kawanda. Good afternoon. Where was you at yesterday, Kawanda? Where was you at? We were looking for you yesterday. I didn't see you. You like popped up and said, hey, and then you just disappeared. So where was you at? We was looking for you. We was looking for Florida, and you wasn't there. But I just want to say, hey, what's going on? E. Gibson, is the price of MATC low because it's supplemented by property tax dollars? Absolutely, as it should be. Just like MPS is. Just like Choice and Charter is. Why not? Listen, if I'm going to pay more for education, if I'm going to get into anything and pay more, right? If I'm going to pay more, I'll pay more for education. I paid for my children's education, K4, through college. Not all parents do that. I get it. But I did it. Both of them got loans. Both of them paid them off. It wasn't that much. Why? Because mom and dad footed the bill. Not everybody can do that. Sometimes you got to get loans like I did. Sometimes you gotta go through. And I get it. But you're paying for you. You are literally paying something that somebody's giving you something you can go out and make money on. That is more important than anything. If you're going to go into debt and get a loan for anything, house, car, roof repairs, you would get it for education. That's just me. But I paid for it. $9,000? Yes, I'll pay my tax dollars. Absolutely. Hey, MATC, we need to make the $9,000 $7. And watch this. You ready? You ready? This is a crazy one. If you make college compulsory, you know how we stop at 12th grade? Let's stop at 14. Let's tell everybody you have to graduate with a 2-year degree, period. If you go, we'll pay for it. But if you don't go, you don't get to nickel and dime us to death. So if on average, I'm just throwing it out there, if it's $9,000 per year, I'm sorry, it's not, talk about wrong, it's $9,000 for your degree. That was dumb on my part. 60 credits times 150 is $9,000 for the entire degree. Watch this. You ready? Go get a loan for that. I'll gladly pay that back. Think about that. Some schools are more than $9,000 a semester with tuition, room, and board. I have no problem paying extra to have somebody go to school for free. Now, here's the kicker. You're only getting, let me see, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're only getting $15,000. You get $15,000. No, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe $14,000. You get $1,000 for your books and whatever incidentals, fees, and you get $9,000 for your tuition. That's it. You get $14,000 over 2 years. If you run out, if you don't finish your degree and you smoke through 14, hey, go get a loan. But I think that's something that we need to really look at. I think that's something that we really, really need to look at. And I don't care whether or not the price of MATC is low. It's a Wisconsin technical school system. UW-Madison gets millions of dollars in tax, and they still raise their tuition, and they got caught through an audit hiding money, saying they didn't have any money. Well, let go of all that other extra crap you got going on at UW-Madison and all this other extra majors that nobody has, but it makes them feel good, and you can get money. You get money from alumni, you get money from the state, you get money from grants. Come on. If the taxpayers are going to pay for it, the taxpayers should pay for what they want, not the garbage you have. Because some of those degrees are garbage at every school. So, come on. But if you get a degree where people want to have it and it's something meaningful, because somebody just told me, well, you know, it's like a degree in sociology. Somebody needs to teach sociology because we need a historical record, not just from historians, about how we are, where we came from, and what we became. Those are all interdisciplinary. Psychology, sociology, criminal justice, all the and when you don't have the grasp of a liberal education, you miss the fact that that's why America is the most innovative country in the world. Why do you think Harvard has so many international students at Harvard? Because they come here to get educated. We don't go there. When the last time you heard somebody say they wanted to leave America to go to another country to get a degree in engineering or math or science? So we can be arrogant if we want. We can afford to be arrogant. Everybody comes here. But we got a gym sitting on 700 West State that everybody acts like it's a pariah. And you can leave. And if you hustle like you're supposed to, work like you're supposed to, you can make $100,000 a year with a $9,000 degree. I think that's a return I'm willing to take a loan out for. But if you just work and take your time and get off this, it's got to take 2 years, it's got to take 4 years, just get rid of that crap. Throw it out and just finish. And if it takes you 5 years, it takes you 5 years. If it takes you 8, it takes you 8. And I don't care if it's for a 2-year degree or 4-year degree. Finish. You will be better. And don't let those people that are bashing you, You can go get a 2-year degree in a trade and rock it. So I don't know. You can get a 2-year degree and come work in radio and rock it. So I don't know what people are talking about. I don't understand. They're like, well, you can talk trash because you got a doctorate. Yeah, but I had to pay for it. I had to hustle for it. I had to sacrifice for it. But it's mine. It's called being accountable and responsible. Was it easy? Oh, God, no. Absolutely not. See, y'all got me popping off now. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I'm looking at this one big, beautiful bill. And so what I want to look at today are the pros and the cons of the bill. So here are the topics I want to talk about before we take a break. And if you have any questions about it, 833-212-1017 is the number. One, I want to be talking about the tax cuts and the economic growth. Those are the pros. I look at that as a pro. That is going to look at what we're going to be able to keep as a tax cut. And so I remember when the bill passed initially under Biden's first administration, a friend of mine complained. And I tried to help her. I'm not getting as much back on my tax return. And I was like, you don't want to give the government your money. You want to keep your money, because when the government gives you your money back as a tax return, there's no interest paid on it. They kept it all year, paid for stuff, invested it, made money on it, and you didn't. You could have had that money in your 403(1) or 403k or invested and made money on it, even a little bit of it. So if you got like $500, $1,000, $2,000 back, you paid them too much. You could have had that money. Divide that per month, and $2,000 is about $160 in your pocket every month that you didn't have. You literally have more money in your check now than you did before that tax cut. But because people didn't like it because of Trump, they didn't understand that the middle class made out like a fat rat. I did under that first cut. I'm just telling you. If they don't, I'm going to be paying back every single year. Middle class. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the economic growth. We'll talk about the families. We'll talk about the families and the individuals that will make it under this. Will everybody make it? No, because one of the cons we're going to discuss after my top 5 at 5 is the increased deficit that we're going to have. We'll talk about the Laffer curve. What's the Laffer curve? Laffer, if you want to Google it. It's the Laffer curve. The Laffer curve is a curve that shows that in some instances, when we pay less in taxes, the government actually makes more in revenue. Because I can pay just one entity, the government, or I can pay for a car and a house, and I can pay at the laundromat. I can go to the club down the street. And when I pay into that, they pay taxes. My money pays more. Does that make sense? Okay. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the issues that impact lower income households, because it's going to have an impact. Nothing's perfect. You can't trash something where you get 8 things that are positive and 2 of them are negative, and so you don't like those things, so you just trash the whole thing. That's that old school cutting off your nose to spite your face. Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. And then finally, we're going to look at the tariffs and other concerns that we have. The markets are going up and down and doing things. And you might say that those markets don't affect you because you're not invested, but everywhere you spend your money and everywhere you work is invested in the market. Where the market goes, in many instances, whether or not you get a paycheck goes. And we'll talk about that in my top 5 at 5, because we're going to touch on how the economy, you, me, Main Street America, black folks, can impact the market by what we say and what we do. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here is Debbie Lazica.
Well, we got another accident to deal with. This is on 94 heading through the stadium interchange on the eastbound side, right about at the ramp from Mitchell Boulevard. So heads up with that. That's to go along with the other accidents that we're still working with on southbound 43, just south of State Street. The last of the cars are just getting hooked up onto a tow truck right now. So hopefully it'll be out of there soon. Still seeing delays, though, from about Burleigh down through that point at State Street. And then we have that other accident on 41 southbound at Hampton Avenue, off on the left shoulder. Delays from just south of Appleton Avenue all the way down to Burleigh. Northbound slow from Watertown Plank Road up to Hampton. And checking the TMJ for Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a slight chance for rain, a high of 55 at the lake, 63 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Experience some of the most cherished popular music of all time when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound, May 23rd through the 25th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Byron Stripling will lead the MSO and an exciting trio of vocalists that include Broadway superstar Chester Gregory, Ashley J., and Brick Liam in a musical sojourn of hits made famous by legendary talents such as Lou Rawls, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and The Temptations. Songs like My Girl, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and I'm Coming Out will come alive in fun and stylish arrangements that are sure to have you dancing and humming along in your seat. Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound runs May 23rd through the 25th only. So lock up your tickets right now by calling the box office at 414-291-7605 or visit mso.org.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great Impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneid. Milwaukee Brewers began a 4-game series out in Pittsburgh on Thursday night, and despite the rain delay, they squeezed out the win 8-5 over the Pirates.
Matson's 1-1 is a fly ball right field deep. Back at the track. Bye-bye
at baseball. A 2-homer day for number 22, and the Brewers lead it 5-2.
With the win, the Brewers improving to 25-26 on their season. Game 2 is set for this evening. First pitch set for 5:40. Over to the NBA, where the Oklahoma City Thunder take a 2-0 lead over the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. They knock off Minnesota 118-103. Game 3 is scheduled for Saturday, and Game 2 between the Knicks and the Pacers is set for this evening. Pacers holding that 1-0 series lead over the Knicks. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host. Wonder if that's an appropriate thing to play on a Friday. You dropped a bomb on me. Wonder how many times that's happened to people. 833-212. I couldn't help myself. 1017 is the number. So let me see. What was the first part we were going to talk about? We were going to talk about tax cuts and economic growth. So you got to remember, Fox News pushes all the positives. They skip over the lower income people like they're not really there. CNN only talks about the cons, all the negative stuff about it, the deficit, tariffs, all that. And they don't talk about how much money people will be able to take home. So what I want to do is talk about the middle. I want to speak about it from the middle. And sometimes that's a tough thing for people to do because we let our politics drive how we function. And we already know that there are a number of ways that people process what they look at. They look at it through, religion. They look at it through economics. They look at it through what's around them, their friends, their experiences, all those things. And so we tend to skip over those things. So if you have a question about any of these parts that I'm talking about, 833-212-1017 is the number. Give us a call. And we'll kind of dive into some of those things. So let's look at it. According to Kiplinger, the bill aims to make many of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Job Act provisions permanent. That means what? Lower corporate tax rates and lower income tax rates for individuals like us. So we talk about 2%, right? But if you make $100,000, 2% is $2,000. If you make $50,000, it's $1,000. We think it's not a lot, but over time it is. You think over a decade how much money you would be able to save and keep in your household to do other things, to save, to go on a trip, to go shopping, buy extra food, extra clothes. We forget about those things that take care of necessary life. And so the 2017 Tax Cut and Job Act, it'll take time to make it to everybody. But under Biden, that's why when the market was good under Biden, that's what was happening. When I have more money, I tend to spend it locally. Now, what happened because of COVID is people saved their money. They didn't spend their money because they were panicked. They didn't know if they would need it. They didn't know if they'd lose their job, so they saved it and they didn't. But usually when you stimulate an economy like they did with Biden and Trump as it related to COVID, many times people spend that money. It didn't make any sense. You should have just frozen all bills and frozen all rents and all that and just had people just had the market and everything just stop. But we didn't do that. And so it caused a little bit of stir. So to stimulate an economy during COVID, when no one's going out, no one's going shopping, made no sense to me. So that was a mistake I believe Trump made by putting money out. And then I think Biden did the same thing. It just made no sense. I'm shell-shocked. I'm not spending my money. If you spent money to stimulate the economy after the Great Depression, that money would not have gone anywhere. So what they did is they created government jobs and had people go out west to Montana, cut down trees, do all these things. And it started to stimulate growth. Just one of the ways. Another potential benefit is reduced taxes on tips and overtime. So the proposal says that they eliminate tax on tips. So if I give you a tip right now, the Internal Revenue Service kind of has an average of, if you work in this business, the minimum tips you probably make is this, if you have this. And I don't know how they do the algorithm. Is it zip code or the location where you work or the business or the EIN, your employee identification number? I don't know what it is or what they use, but basically they know kind of like where you work, how much tips you get. Now, you also know that the difference in working at a country club versus the difference of working in a bar, well, it depends on the bar. If you work in the neighborhood, somebody gives you a tip, I don't know, you might make maybe $100, $200 a night in tips. This bill says the government's not going to tax that. We're not going to even ask you for it. So think about this. Think about how much money you would get back if you work for a restaurant and it's a highbrow restaurant and they pay you, because, you know, they pay under minimum wage. So if minimum wage is like $7.25, $7.50, they pay like $2.10, $3.10 an hour because they know you make money on tips. You realize how much money you would be able to save by them not taxing your tips. Think about that. Now, the state may still tax it, but the federal government won't. And if the state's like at 5% or so, and the federal government is like at 10 or 20, that's a sizable amount of cash you can keep in your pocket. Overtime. If you're an hourly wage earner and you make overtime and you make $10 an hour and overtime pays you time and a half, which is $15 an hour, that extra additional $5 that you make is not taxable. And I don't know how they're going to work it, but if your overtime pay is $15 an hour, are they not going to tax the $15 an hour? Or are they going to say the $15 that you make, your normal rate is 10, so we're only going to tax $10, not 5? I don't know how that'll work. The other thing before we go to break is increased SALT deduction. So the bill includes an increase in the cap, to the cap, on state and local taxes. That means potentially homeowners in high tax states, is according to CBS News, it would raise the cap to $40,000 for households earning up to $500,000. That's everybody. Everybody. So if you buy something, let's say you're a homeowner and the taxes there are high. If there's a tax you pay regarding your house, you don't have to pay it. Up to $40,000. Now, if it's more, well, you gotta, pay the piper. And then finally, support for farmers. The Farm Bill program extends certain tax provisions that benefit farmers. It aims to make business tax deductions permanent and continue current estate tax exemptions to help families pass on farms. So, a farm can be worth like a couple $1 million, $3, $4, $5 million if they're doing it right, if they're doing it well, right? And then, of course, economic growth. Proponents argue that tax cuts stimulate the economy by encouraging business to invest. They create jobs. Those people get salaries. They buy more stuff, and it trickles from there. So that's it. We have a break, and when we come back, I want to start to explain what some of those drawbacks are, and then we'll dive into them after our top 5 at 5. Hey, calling all Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We've teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black owned business give back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. So to sign up for your Black Business interview, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, our partner, member, FDIC.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Tired of hearing no from other banks? No to a loan? No to a checking account? Just no? At Brewery Credit Union, they find ways to say yes. Yes to second chances. Yes to rebuilding credit. Yes to helping you save, borrow, and thrive. Work with your credit specialist and move your financial life forward. Brewery Credit Union, Milwaukee's best place to borrow and save. Visit brewerycu.com. That is brewerycu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey Truth Nation, it's your girl Noni Juice for my friends at Steinhafels. And guess what? Steinhafels Memorial Day sale has been extended. It's your last chance to save 10% off store-wide, plus get amazing deals like sofas for $4.99, dining tables at $5.49, and queen beds at just $6.99. Plus, take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month 0% financing to make your purchase even more affordable. Steinhafels is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Slow? I don't think so. I don't think so. So when we come back, we're gonna look at some of the drawbacks to this. We're gonna look at some of the things like increasing the national debt. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about it might cause inflation, right? There might be some regressive tax cuts, and we'll explain what those are, and how they benefit one group and not another. But if you're in a space to take advantage of something, it benefits you. And if you're not in a space to take advantage of it, you can't. And then increase in tariffs, market volatility. There's nothing you can really do about that. I mean, come on. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hey, I know it might be Pop Off Friday. I don't know if you're doing it or not, but I have an issue.
Yes, it is.
I really hate they got rid of the migrants because it's so hard to find a good maintenance man. Because out of the people I have looked for, I have not been satisfied with the integrity in their work, or I'm finding all these excuses. Now, let me add, I always pay what it's worth. I'm never one of them kind of people who be trying to get a $2,000 job and think I'm gonna get off by paying $200 or $20. I'm gonna say what you want and give you a tip, and if you don't do it right, I'm gonna call you and say, well, hey. But it seems like it's so hard to find good maintenance people, especially people who want to do it right.
So where are you going to hire these people?
Right.
So where are you going to hire these people?
Well, sometimes I look on Craigslist. Sometimes I do word by mouth.
Number one.
Right, and so I try to, they say spend black dollars with black dollars. So I have tried that numerous times, and I was going to have a cement porch tore down at my father's house. One guy wanted $750. I said, fine, I'll pay you $8. He didn't show up. Then another guy, I said, well, how much? He said, well, you ain't going to pay me what I asked. I said, what you want? He said, $950. I said, I give you $1,000. Then he give me all these excuses, and then he don't show up. So I talked to a good friend of mine. He sent his 18-year-old.
Look at where you're getting your help from.
Well, they say spend black dollars with black dollars. So I'm trying to spend with my own.
But you're spending black dollars on Craigslist. Why don't you go to one of these?
No.
Watch this.
No,
why don't you go to one of these churches or go to one of these workforce development organizations and get people to work there?
I did talk to somebody at this church, and he referred to this one guy, and that was the one who said, well, you're not going to pay me what I asked. I said, because he said, and most people say I'm too expensive. I said, well, what you want? He said $900. I said, I'll pay you $1,000. He didn't show up.
Okay.
Then I called another person, and then when I said,
did you take references? Did you look at references? Did you ask what other jobs you've done? Stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I did, and
did you really?
They always speak. Honestly, yes and no, but I did, though.
Okay.
But to make a long story short, I talked to a good friend of mine. He sent his 18-year-old son and his 13-year-old from up north. They came down with a front loader, knocked the porch down. I said, I'll give your son $1,000. He said, no, give him $600.
Okay.
Knocked it down with no breeze and nothing. And the thing is, when you had the migrants here, they'll come fix it. You don't got no issues.
I don't know if you could try. I don't know if you could use migrants for that. I don't know. That's a stretch.
Well, I know some of the ones that I have.
Migrants are still here, by the way. They haven't gone anywhere.
Well, they probably just laying very low because I know you can pay them. They'll come knock it out quick, boom, boom, boom. But it's just like when I try to spend money with some of my own,
right?
You got to pull teeth, and I'm not pulling teeth to spend my money with you.
Well, thank you for that.
That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate you, Al.
So all right. Well, anyway, that's my pop-off Friday, but I'm still looking for a good maintenance man. I pay good, and I don't pay you like you a back alley mechanic. Whatever you ask, I'm going to pay you. I just want your integrity to show in your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon, Top 5 at 5, and more. One big, beautiful bill next.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming with straight truth.
I wonder how many of these kids that's running around here, if they tested them for lead, look up lead crisis in different townships and look at the behavior and then look at what's going on in Milwaukee and match it up. Do your little research. Go get your thumbs instead of getting in the comments and arguing with folks. Go look up the side effects of a lead poison environment, then watch the news.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
I've got to share that I am also a beneficiary of the Old National Bank Empowerment Loan Program. So, Tracy, with that being said, what is the Empowerment Loan Program?
Great. Well, the Empowerment Loan Program is a special purpose loan program that we launched 2 years ago. It has been a success. It was something, again, near and dear to the heart of not only our chairman and CEO, but just our organization as a whole. We work with contractors, consulting firms, retail food operations, daycares. In fact, so far, we've approved $50 million of loans to minority and women-owned businesses within a 2-year period.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about? What am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Wisconsin Department of Health reports that the passing of the upcoming federal budget will bring funding cuts to SNAP recipients and cost Wisconsin food share users upwards of $300 million. CEO for the Hunger Task Force, Matt King, explains how more food pantries could suffer if the bill gets passed and signed by the president.
What's going to happen with these cuts is that a lot more people are going to fall off of the program, and as a result, there's going to be an increased pressure put on local food pantries.
King says the Hunger Task Force has reached out to both Wisconsin's U.S. senators to ask for adjustments to the bill. More than 700,000 Wisconsinites participate in the food share program a year. Milwaukee City Common Council approves the next public plaza near the Deer District. On Tuesday, the Common Council approved the $5 million proposed riverfront public plaza on a half block of West Highland Avenue between North King Drive and the Milwaukee River. The Journal Sentinel reports that the street would be transformed into a pedestrian space and the city would pay for 78% of the project's cost. Work on the new plaza will begin in October. Charged with abusing a child reported missing, 58-year-old Daniel Hawkins faces 2 felonies for second-degree sexual assault of a child and giving drugs to a child. Authorities say Hawkins found a 14-year-old girl who had been reported missing in April and then supplied her with meth before he sexually assaulted her. The child stayed with Hawkins for 4 days before ending up at various, quote, trap houses before being located. Hawkins faces up to 65 years in prison if convicted. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017 is the number. I was just drinking a little water, eating some shellless pistachio nuts, because, I have bruxism, right? So at night, I grit my teeth. And so I found out I gained weight because I needed something to chew. And I don't want the sugar or the sugar-free crap that's in gum and all that, or bite my tongue or lip. So, pistachio nuts. It's the only nut that I'm not allergic to. Everything else I can't eat. Pistachio, walnut, all that. So, peanuts. So, that's what I do. That's what you caught me doing. So, Hey, by the way, partly cloudy today, as you have noticed. The sun's been in and out. It's kind of chilly, 54 degrees. The high today was 57. Low tonight is 42 degrees. Winds are from the east at 7 miles an hour. However, come tomorrow, they're expecting a high of 56 and 6% chance of rain. And Sunday, 58. We got to wait till maybe Wednesday to get to the 60s and then the 70s next week, Monday. Like not next week, not this coming Monday, but next week, like June 2nd Monday. But for some reason, June, we're not, throughout the 6th, we're 70 is about as hot as we're going to get. So, not really looking forward to that. I need it to be warmer. I need warmth. You got it? Warmth. All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. So when we get finished with this, we'll do a check of the talk and text line and YouTube chat. So we're going to do top 5 at 5, YouTube chat, talk and text line, and then we're going to get back to the one big beautiful bill and all the negative things that are about it.
Number 5.
Well, I didn't know. Just me. But I didn't know Granny and them still got fight in them. You know what I'm saying? Police are investigating after a large fight involving employees broke out at a senior living facility in Waukesha. Officers reported to Senior Living Center. That's the Oak Hill Terrace Senior Living Center. Yesterday afternoon, after 911 calls reported a chaotic fight involving multiple people in the facility's lobby. People say the incident stemmed from a fight between employees escalated when a group of people forcibly entered the facility. What that mean? That mean that somebody got mad, made a phone call, and everybody showed up. Surveillance footage and witnesses account of confirmed that 8 to 10 people involved, including adults and children, so what do you call when a group of people like that show up?
What do y'all call that in your generation? A squad? Your squad showed up? In law enforcement, we call it the drama response team. Somebody got dramatic, and then they called somebody. Everybody showed up. So here come the drama response. They go screaming out. They don't even know what's going on. They don't know what to fight about. X is in a fight. We got to go. They jumping on X. Get all jazzed up and ready to go, huh? And then you get there and old people fighting. According to Waukesha police, several victims were assaulted, including employees and a juvenile. They say one victim was kicked in the head. The other's cell phone was stolen and later found destroyed on I-94. Police say probable cause have been established for multiple arrests with charges of battery, disorderly conduct, and child abuse. Now, here's my question. Did you go back and ask the old people there? Did you see it? Did you see it? They was like, man, I don't need streaming. I just need to go to the lobby. They was duking it out. I'm telling you. And speaking of duking it out, Alderman, as usual, crying again after the fact.
Number 4.
From CBS58.com, city leaders are pushing for better safety protocols after perceived threat at Milwaukee's Zeitler Municipal Building last week. What was initially called in as a report of shots fired turned out to be a false alarm. Mayor Cavalier Johnson said it was believed to be a recent fired employee slamming a door. The initial report prompted lockdowns in the Zeitler Building and neighboring City Hall last Thursday, the 15th. Now, Common Council members are saying, we're frustrated because of a lack of communication during the incident, and they want these possible safety risks addressed. That means you have to address it, numbskull. Like, you're the Common Council. Pass something so the mayor can sign it. Pay for it. Imagine that. An announcement played over the intercoms in City Hall last Thursday at 3:30 telling employees to shelter in place, but officials said it didn't come through in the Zeitler Municipal Building, where it happened. How stupid is that? The speakers weren't working at the time, Commissioner of Public Works said. In the entire building, in the entire Zeitler Municipal Building, correct. That's why folks did not know. He confirmed the system was working during a routine check just 2 weeks prior. When y'all gonna tell him we need somebody else in that job? We were hearing from employees don't feel safe, weren't informed. We are hearing from employees don't feel safe, weren't informed. There's no excuse for that, says Alderman Jose Perez, president. You want perfection, dude, or you want people to be safe? You probably got rid of the police. You got rid of all the things that had to do with the police and safety, and people complained about it in the past, I'm sure, but nobody probably did anything, as usual. Perez said he didn't know there was an incident until his staffers saw the mayor's security detail in the hallway. It was obvious they knew. The office was shut down, blacked out, and we were left in the dark about it. Milwaukee's Director of Emergency Management, Ryan Zollicoffer, said an email was supposed to alert city officials, but committee members said they never received it. Who checks their email when somebody's in the AX? Somebody's in the building shooting at us. Could you check your email so they can tell us where we got to go? Like, what was that? Like, what would that do? How stupid is that? Your city hall at work. Just a generalized shelter in place, stay there, and details will come accordingly. That's what should have happened, and it did not. If a plan is going to collect dust and no one is going to execute how we understand it and do it, then it makes no sense. Alderman Perez, yeah, you're the president of the council. Do something about it. It is up to you to do something about it. Try being a leader for God's sake. I'm just saying. Committee members also learned the disgruntled employee was not escorted out of the building after being terminated because there isn't always a procedure to require that. That's not true. Everywhere I know in HR has a procedure for when you fire people. Hey, X, you're fired. Can you get your stuff? Log off the computer and go home. Okay. And then he goes walking away. Like, who does that? Decades ago, they didn't do that. Why would they? Oh, that's right. Millennials, we got to be kinder and gentler. Well, we trust him to leave. Oh, okay. And I know everybody in the world, why you got to bring generations in because it bothers you. That's why. This is a great training opportunity. Thank God nothing tragic happened, said Alderwoman Charlene Moore, which is Alderman because y'all ain't changed the city. Moving forward, Public Safety Committee wants DPW and emergency management to make a plan to ensure safety alerts are clear. Y'all want to work with the police department on that? Because clearly y'all don't know what y'all doing. Clearly you don't know what you're doing. A call comes into building management. Expectations should always be to over-communicate. Speaker, text messaging, e-notify. Alderman Perez also wants committee members to meet with the city clerk's office to discuss safety protocols together. Oh, yeah, the clerk's office. I guarantee you the clerk's office is safe because they got police there. So I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, what y'all talking about? And I know they may not have them there all the time, but I know when people are dropping off their taxes and there's a lot of money there, that's all I'm saying. Can we do better? Sure, we can do better. Will we do better? Maybe.
Number 3.
This from Fox6Now.com. Milwaukee police said a shooting led to a tactical situation on the city's north side yesterday afternoon. The suspect died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. What they're saying is it happened at 93rd and Carmen around 12:50 p.m. in the afternoon, and police said the 67-year-old victim was shot during a domestic argument, taken to a hospital, and expected to survive. Of course, law enforcement set up a tactical situation, and the suspect was later found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And the investigation goes on. So now it's starting to get warm out. Domestic violence is for me, from what I'm hearing, it's on the rise. It's slowly moving up because I'm starting to hear about at least one a day. At least one a day. Interesting.
Number 2.
This from WISN.com. So here's the deal, and this is just me. A shell of a home remains after fire ripped through it on yesterday, 18th Street and 240th Avenue in the town of Brighton. According to the chief, Ron Molnar of the Kansasville Fire and Rescue Department, they were dispatched around 1 o'clock. Heavy flames and smoke was coming through the roof. And so the fire was fully involved and well into dispatch. The chief said the home was engulfed in flames when they were dispatched. They eventually determined that nobody was inside the house. Multiple pets are believed to have died from the fire. Homeowner wasn't there. But when they checked, what they had done is they had plugged in lithium-ion batteries on a charger within 2 to 3 hours of the fire being reported. The batteries were reportedly meant to power a 6-foot drone the homeowner recently purchased. And he put the batteries inside the house. There was also ammunition in the home, but it's pretty common for homes in the area to have it. Ammunition in this case didn't pose any extra dangers to firefighters. So the lithium battery that he plugged in burned and then subsequently burned down the house. So they've also stopped those things from being used on airplanes. You can't carry the small ones now. You can't carry the big ones now. They get really hot on an airplane, if you notice. So good luck with that, but odds are you're not going to be able to get on an airplane with a battery. It might be a different kind of battery, but it's something. I remember being on a plane with one of those little small battery packs I use for my iPhone, and it heated up on the flight. It was hot. And it didn't catch fire, but I'm thinking, probably not going to take that anymore. Well, not anymore, because Homeland Security, TSA, is going to be yanking them puppies. I'm just saying, just so you know, just like they're going to get rid of you being able to travel with a passport and you got to have a real ID. No more passport, like real ID. So those things are coming. Those things are coming, right? Some other future things are coming. But on Pop-Off Friday, we have to say, once again,
Number 1.
Congratulations to Target. From News1.com, who would have thought alienating part of your customer base would result in lower sales? I don't know. Target didn't think that. But first quarter sales, they reported a 2.8% drop in the first quarter compared to last year, earning $28.85 billion. While that's an ungodly sum of money by any estimation, it fell short of the $24.23 billion Wall Street was expecting. The company expects sales to continue to decline into the low single digits for the rest of the fiscal year. Target shares fell 3.5% during midday trading on Wednesday after investors learned of the decline. But it's not surprising. People stopped going. Have you been to Target lately? I went to Target, and there wasn't a lot of people in Target. Now, I don't know if people weren't in Target because of the whole DEI thing, but I think next week we'll kind of talk about that. Is what's going to take the place of DEI? Because right now, it's over. And there's not a lot you can do. It is over. I'm just saying. It is over. 833-212-1017 is the number. Before I go to break, David, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Yeah, Dr. Ken. Now, I understand the problem they had down at City Hall last week was they could not determine if it was a gunshot or a slamming door because the people that be down there would not allow the police department to access the video cameras so they could take a look-see.
How do you know that?
So you still have people. This is reported on WISN radio. If you want to talk to Dan O'Donnell, I'm quite sure he could explain to you what.
Why would I listen to somebody else's radio show? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, no one said you had to. I'm just telling you. I'm passing on information to you.
So why'd you mention it?
I'm passing on the information that you may not have been aware of. So to enlighten you upon that.
But why? It's okay. So okay. All right. Thank you.
So, all right. You're welcome. Bye.
He just wanted to be able to say Dan O'Donnell's name on our radio station. Huh? He's another talk show host in town. No big deal. I'm not saying he's not a big deal. I'm saying it's no big deal. I think he thought he was going to shock me or something. Oh, my God. Oh, the world's coming to an end. See, the problem I have is this. People like that think the cops are perfect and we support the police and all that. I support the military, too. But when you mess something up or do something wrong, be held accountable, be responsible. Same thing with the police. I find it interesting that conservative people, let me rephrase that, Republicans tend to hold other people to standards they can't uphold. We support the police no matter what. Well, you can't support the police no matter what because when they break the law, Republicans become silent. They should be speaking up about the rule of law just like other people speak up about the rule of law when it goes against what they believe. So it doesn't matter. Well, you got to look at all of January 6th. You can't just look at the parts you don't like because you don't like Trump and you don't like this and not look at a totality of it. Because totality of the matter is that they never should have been there. And if they crawled in, they got shot. That's it. There was no reason to shoot people in the head crawling through a window. None. There was no reason why anybody died in January 6th. To blame Trump for 100% of it is just stupid and political. And most people will only pull out of that, just like they do the bill, just like they do anything Biden does, only the things that make their point and dismiss the rest of it. But because people don't understand January 6th, we were never, ever, ever under the thing that somebody was going to take over the government. If you could take over the government by taking over that building, you're in trouble to begin with. Because a function of government didn't even run out of that building. It was a legislative building. So, these disconnects because we don't teach people civics and we just believe what we hear, not because, of who the person is, but because they're liberal, or we only listen to the person because they're conservative. They must be right, when in fact they're not. They're not giving you the whole story. Republicans do it, Democrats do it, and they don't give you the whole story. So take a step back from all the ridiculousness. Take a step back from the way that we look at the world and open yourself up and start to look at the world in a broader way. And you'll start to find that there's some things on the other side, regardless of what side you're on, that will actually help you, support you, and make you better. But if we stay in our little space, That's all we believe. So we'll forever, oh my God, we almost lost democracy. What do you mean? Like Democrats were the ones that were taking your democracy. Now they're trying to say it's democracy. Republicans were the ones that wanted all the immigrants in town because they were able to pay them cheaply. Now they want them out. Everybody does it politically. Everybody. Listen, I say throw all the bums out. That's what I say. But, ain't nobody listening to me.
One call, that's all.
Good afternoon, Truth Nation. Now's your chance to be our One Call, That's All 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered in to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 5 right now at 833-212-1017, and you will be entered in to win the $5,000 giveaway with the award-winning 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Again, that's caller number 5 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or your loved one has ever been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them at gruber-law.com for official contest rules. Visit 1017thetruth.com. Hey, that's caller number 5, 833-212-1017 is the number.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. What? Catch Jammin' with Juice
from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axhousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You know, there's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors, then right now, because Pella's offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point, and they'll listen to your vision and support the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st of 2025. So, what do you got to do? Visit PellaWI.com, PellaWI.com today. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me catch up. Have a great, safe weekend, y'all. That's from Felix. What's up, Felix? What's up, Lana Banana? Sir Chance, happy Memorial Day weekend. Dr. Harris, great show today. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Not really a girl. What's up? Nah. Hey, she spoke to me first, Lana. So there. Oh, Dr. Ken, you completely misrepresented the way SALT tax works. You still have to pay state and local tax. The increase in cap is the amount of taxes you can deduct. Okay, thank you. And also you are still taxed on tips and overtime. The bill allows for those taxes to be deducted on your return. Tax break is tax break. Anyway. So, while this deficit sounds good without proper tax planning, an individual could see no benefit until they file their annual tax return. As all of us do. You don't see a benefit until you do. Anyway. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate it. But they bring home more, does it matter? I don't understand. Me personally, I'd rather have it during the year, but if I can get it at the end, I'm okay. But thank you for that, Wayne. Appreciate it. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sound like people checking out early because they got to go. They going to hit the road. Y'all know they're expecting more people to fly or travel this weekend than any other time in the last 20 years. 20 years. So what were we talking about? The increase. So it's this one big, beautiful bill. Here's some of the issues we have. Well, first of all, Congressional Budget Office has estimated the tax cuts could add $3.8 trillion to the deficit over the next decade. And that's according to an independent source, the BBC, British Broadcasting Company. The estimates in the tax cuts, it's going to run a deficit because we may, for a time, spend more money than we bring in because it's going to take time for that to occur. There's potential inflation, which we already know. Tax cuts could lead to increased borrowing and higher interest rates impacting people with mortgages. However, you got to look at that thing I talked about earlier called the Laffer curve. And if you understand what the Laffer curve is, it's a concept. It's in economics. And it illustrates the relationship between tax rates and government tax revenue, how much you pay, how much the government makes. It suggests that there's an optimal tax rate where revenue is maximized, and as tax rates increase from zero, revenue initially rises. But then at a certain point, further revenue or making more money actually goes down or decreases due to decreased economic activity and avoidance. So people will, at some point, when you cut their taxes, they'll spend more, but they're only going to spend so much more. And then some of that money is going to go to other places. It's going to go to pay for certain things that aren't taxed. It's going to go to savings and stuff like that, right? So what does that mean? Well, at a zero tax rate, there's no revenue generated. People keep all their money. The increase in revenue as tax rates increase from zero, revenue rises because the government's collecting a larger portion of the tax. But then there's what's called the optimal tax rate. So Laffer curve suggests that there's a point where the tax rate, once it hits a certain point, that's all you're getting. And then when it gets too high, people start figuring out ways to pay less. People keep figuring out ways to not pay as much. They cheat. they avoid tax, they work less, things of that nature. And so what's happening is that when you lower the tax rate, at some point you make more money, but it's only to a certain point. Flip side to that is when you increase taxes, you may actually bring in less money because people try to avoid the tax. And so that's what was happening before. Beyond the optimal point, further increases in tax rates leads to a decline in revenue. This is because high tax rates de-incentivize spending. Well, if I'm going to get taxed, like at some point the tax can be so high that you just say, forget it. Like you'll pay more for something, but if the tax is too high, you're like, that's not worth it. If I'm a buy a car and the tax on a car is too much, I'm not going to bother with the car. Even though the tax may only be $1,000, I might be wanting to pay $200 or $300, and you're telling me $1,000. Nope, that's okay. I don't want it. But there are two effects. The Laffer curve highlights the interaction between two effects. The arithmetic effect, which is lower tax rates mean less revenue per dollar in taxes, and the economic effect, lower taxes, stimulates. There's a point where those two intersect, and it's called optimum. It's an optimum point where you'll get both. Right now, they're trying to find where that is. Is it a guarantee? No. No, it depends on where you look, where you use it, where you utilize it. So all those things have to, come together. It has to be a perfect storm for something like that to happen. I'd rather fight for it than fight against it. When we come back, we'll talk about regressive tax cuts that are in the bill. We'll talk about the impact of tariffs and just market volatility, what that means to little old po people like me. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here is Debbie Lazaga.
Just one accident left over right now on 41 southbound, right about at Hampton Avenue, off on the left shoulder. A couple of cars there. It's going to be slow from about Silver Spring all the way down to Burleigh. Northbound, you're seeing backups from Watertown Plank Road up past Hampton. Eastbound 94's got a couple of pockets of heavy traffic from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Westbound, not too bad. It starts to slow down a little bit right around Moreland Road out past Calhoun. And then northbound 43, slowing just out of the Marquette up to Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a slight afternoon rain chance with a high of 55 at the lake, 63 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Experience some of the most cherished popular music of all time when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound, May 23rd through the 25th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Byron Stripling will lead the MSO and an exciting trio of vocalists that include Broadway superstar Chester Gregory, Ashley J., and Brick Liam in a musical sojourn of hits made famous by legendary talents such as Lou Rawls, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and The Temptations. Songs like My Girl, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and I'm Coming Out will come alive in fun and stylish arrangements that are sure to have you dancing and humming along in your seat. Let's Groove Tonight, Motown and the Philly Sound runs May 23rd through the 25th only. So lock up your tickets right now by calling the box office at 414-291-7605 or visit mso.org.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
Most people don't know that a county executive is a higher elected position than a mayor. Most people don't know what a state assembly representative does, a state senator, nor their function in overall state government. Most people, in fact, don't know what a school board representative actually does. Ask a person who their county board supervisor is, and they'll likely shrug their shoulders. Also, most people don't vote. We're in for a world of hurt If we don't know the functions of our government at the very basic level, then we are not nearly equipped for what is going to happen to this nation for the next 4 years. All they had to do was tell unsophisticated folks gas prices are too high, inflation is too high, bacon and eggs cost too much. It's this guy's fault. It's this party's fault. Vote for us. Don't think about the criminal prosecutions. Don't think about all the malfeasance. Don't think about all of the misconduct and the corruption. We're going to make your bacon cheaper. We're going to make your eggs cheaper. We're also going to gut the FBI. We're also going to gut anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to shred this nation from the top to the bottom, all in favor of a handful of folks. How about this? Let's tell people that immigrants are actually the problem. And then Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk will bring in the most highly trained immigrants this nation has ever seen. Why? Because Americans are none the wiser. Don't believe me? Look at public school children's performance, not just in Milwaukee, not just in Wisconsin, but nationwide. Get ready for a long ride, ladies and gentlemen. A very long ride.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneid. Milwaukee Brewers began a 4-game series out in Pittsburgh on Thursday night, and despite the rain delay, they squeezed out the win 8-5 over the Pirates.
Matson's 1-1 is a fly ball right field deep. Back at the track, bye-bye baseball. A 2-homer day for number 22, and the Brewers lead it 5-2.
With the win, the Brewers improving to 25-26 on their season. Game 2 is set for this evening. First pitch set for 5:40. Over to the NBA, where the Oklahoma City Thunder take a 2-0 lead over the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. They knock off Minnesota 118-103. Game 3 is scheduled for Saturday, and Game 2 between the Knicks and the Pacers is set for this evening. Pacers holding that 1-0 series lead over the Knicks. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017 is. I did it. The number. I clicked off something and I should have kept it on. Temperature is now 54 degrees. Feels like 52 degrees because the winds are from the east. At 7 miles an hour. So, yeah. So, let's see. Going back to this befuddling thing that we were, this befuddling thing that we were talking about called the one big, I know, don't, one big, beautiful bill. Well, here's the thing. There's going to be an impact on lower income households. And that's one of the things we're going to have to start to look at. There's going to be an impact on lower income households and how they make it. So here's some potential impacts, right? Potential reductions in social safety net spending. But again, this is potential. Shift tax burdens, adjust student loan programs. So while they're trying to stimulate the economy, right, through tax cuts, deregulation. These things could lead to reduced access to health care and social services. Here's the questions I have. Give me the information and the data that shows that'll happen. Increased financial burdens, greater challenges to managing student debt for many low-income families, seniors, and student loan borrowers. That's fine. In some cases, it's not fine, but show me the data. Show me the information that says these things will happen, right? Because all the things that makes it positive, there's some things that low-income people could do to make it beneficial for themselves. But every side has their own side, so everybody's just looking at the main components that they think are the main components of the bill, and then saying, well, on average, well, give me some numbers. If you can figure out what it'll be on average, then you can figure out what it'll be for every income level. That's all I'm saying. You can figure that out. You say it'll jeopardize health for people who rely on Medicaid, but if what you're doing is throwing people out who aren't supposed to be on Medicaid, who aren't supposed to be receiving it, we'll give more money. The government will give more money to the people that actually deserve it. Because you can only have so many people on Medicare, Medicaid, for states and all that, right? So if you have less people on it, that means I can give it to more people who actually are supposed to have it. That's my logic. So if we can get the people off of it who don't deserve to be on it, like immigrants who are here illegally but got put on it, then that can pose a problem. When you put people and give them something that you don't give citizens that are already here. And so if you gave it to citizens that are already here, then I'm okay helping other people. But I got to help home first. Makes no sense. So where'd she go? I was about to go to her, then Lana Banana just disappeared. Call back, Lana. It just makes no sense when we do that. We give money to people who don't deserve it, who are not citizens, who are not here, who some pay taxes, but the majority do not. And that's this idiocy of we want to help everybody else. We don't even help our own. You don't help homeless black people in a community. Why are we helping homeless immigrants? Dumb. Help home first. You want to give people jobs? Give it to the homeless. Want to give people free housing? Give it to the homeless. Why are you giving free housing and putting people out of hotels to let them come in who haven't given a dime to this country? No work, no money, no taxes, no nothing. But then when we ask you to help black people in the community who just need a helping hand, we got a problem. Where were those Democrats that were complaining about cuts to Medicare now? Where were they when they were complaining when they were giving Medicare for free to people who didn't pay taxes, who came here from another country? Nowhere to be found. Lana, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Yes. How you doing, Dr. Ken Harris?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's going okay. But I just wanted to say before the commercial was, you did, get to not really a city girl first. But see, I know how to say her name correctly. You say not really a girl. Well, then is she not really a girl? What is she really?
I said it really one time, and you still holding on to that? Like you still hit me over the head?
You said it before commercial.
You said it before commercial. So what?
Not really a city girl. And another question: do you say the drums? Do you say the drums?
I didn't hear you.
Do you say the drums? Do you say the drums?
No, I do not. No, I do not. If you quit talking on speakerphone, I can hear you better. Oh, there it is. Not really a city girl. Instead of not really a girl, you're lazy Lana. Yeah. How's that? Yeah.
Okay, but just because you say it don't mean I'm lazy. You can call me that.
Just because you say I say it wrong don't mean that I'm not perfect.
But I'll take it. But lazy Lana, but see, listen, not really a girl, but then what is she really doing?
She might not really be a boy
not really
either.
A city. Not really. So
I'm well aware of that.
Not really
oh my
a city girl.
Really?
say city.
I am well aware of
it's
that.
Pop-Off Friday, so I'm trying to think of something to pop up on. I don't know.
Girl.
I'm trying to participate.
Gone pop off on me. So what are you doing this weekend for Memorial Day?
I am chilling. I'm taking a break.
I don't know what that means.
I got this deep tissue massage gun. I'm going to massage my shoulder, my back, forearms, everything. Just relax and, take it easy.
Okay.
Enjoy the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Well, you have, we'll have a nice weekend and safe, and see you later.
All right. Take care.
All right. Peace.
And that was Lana Banana. Not really a girl. I just said it because I'm reading not really a city girl. I'm just... Anyway, 833-212-1017 is the number. I don't know if I'm going to be able to squeeze anybody in anyway because I only got a minute. So I want to say Happy Memorial Day to everyone. If you have someone in your family who has passed away and was in any of the conflicts we call war, think about them on Monday. Fly a flag. Matter of fact, does anybody know a good flag place around Wisconsin? I gotta find a flag place because I have 2 flags that I want to put on poles. Well, no, not a pole. What would you call it? Just attach it to the wood piece or metal that then goes in the flag stand. And so I need the staff, right? I need that so I can get it. I have a full flag, like it's like 6 by 8 or 8 feet by 10. It's huge. And I used to fly it every Memorial Day. It was my father's flag. He was a Korean War veteran, and he was, and when he passed away, I had his flag. Well, his flag got, tattered and all that, so I had to take it out to the post and have it destroyed. But then I bought a new one in his honor, and now I'm trying to find somewhere to put it because I think I might have bought it too big. And now I got to find a staff that'll hold it and a holder. That's a pretty good problem to have for Memorial Day.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now, subscribe to 1017 The Truth, and see this wonderful smile live every day.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl Noni Juice for my friends at Steinhafels. And guess what? Steinhafels Memorial Day sale has been extended. It's your last chance to save 10% off store-wide, plus get amazing deals like sofas for $4.99, dining tables at $5.49, and queen beds at just $6.99. Plus, take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month 0% financing to make your purchase even more affordable. Steinhafels is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So, it's been a long weekend. It's been a long week. It's been a long day. What do you mean weekend? It's just been a weekend. It's a long weekend already, and it's just Friday. I got a boatload of stuff to do this weekend. Gonna have a great time. I got Monday off, so we get to relax. There will be no live truth shows. You get the best of on Monday. We get a day off to relax and recuperate and look at the veterans and love on the veterans in our life and those we've lost. It's why it's called Memorial Day. So I think it'll be great. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe's show is coming up next. Want to say thank you for being here. Not really a city girl, nah, Atlanta. Reg, S.E., Felix C., The Second, Sir Chance, Kawanda, E. Gibson. Want to say thank you to all y'all. Also want to say thank you for the corrections from Wayne. Appreciate everything you do, everything you say. That's why we're here, for the best in Milwaukee Black Talk. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you. See you in like 66 hours. 22 and 22 and 22. So, again, I think I might have to count 24. But anyway, I'll talk to you Sunday night. I'll be on our sister station 1017 The Truth on Monday night. And on Sunday night, our sister station 620 WTMJ from 7 to 9. Make sure you hang out. Truth Unfiltered. All that stuff's going on right here at the best radio in Wisconsin. God bless. Take care. I'm out.
Be quiet.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Coming with straight truth.
I wonder how many of these kids that's running around here, if they tested them for lead. Look up lead crisis in different townships and look at the behavior, and then look at what's going on in Milwaukee and match it up. Do your little research. Go get your thumbs Instead of getting in the comments and arguing with folks, go look up the side effects of a lead poison environment, then watch the news.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Why did Old National Bank decide to create this program?
You know, it was something that was near and dear to the heart of our chairman and CEO, Jim Bryant. Jim wanted us to do more in the African American communities, more with minority-owned businesses. So he approached Roland Shelton, who was my boss in Evansville, Indiana, and said, Roland, we need to do more. We need to create a program that's going to allow individuals, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses to access capital a lot better than traditionally we've been doing. And so we created the Empowerment Loan Program 2 years ago.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum, I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good